Evening, Year 11. Tomorrow afternoon is Maths Paper 1, the non-calculator paper. Here is my advice for tackling the paper tomorrow, whether you are doing foundation or higher. Firstly, although you are not allowed to take a calculator into the exam hall, you must have all your other equipment. A pen, pencil, rubber, ruler, protractor and compass could all be needed. If there is a rotation question, you should use tracing paper. There'll be some available in the exam hall. Use a pencil for any diagrams or graphs. That way you can rub out any errors you make. If you need to draw a straight line, make sure you use a ruler. Measure any lines and angles carefully. You are allowed a little bit of leeway, but not much. Make sure you read the questions really carefully. Don't skim read them and go straight for the numbers. Copy down any information you are using from the questions accurately. Think back to the mock you did before Christmas. Were there any silly errors you made where you didn't copy something correctly? It's a common mistake to make. Look out for those key command words that your teachers have been through with you in class. Remember that the papers generally get progressively more difficult as you go through them. However, this does not mean if you get stuck on a question that you should stop and give up on the rest of the paper. There could be a topic later on that you've just covered in maths or you are more confident on, so please try to keep going and answer as much as possible. What's your timing? You have 90 minutes, but you should be just over halfway through after about 45 minutes. This allows you more time to answer the more difficult questions at the end of the paper. You will also hopefully have time for checking your answers. Checking does not mean flicking through the paper. It means properly checking your calculations. Make sure you have not made an error on something you are normally comfortable doing, like adding or using your times tables. Think about whether your answers are sensible and fit with the context of the question. There will be some questions that are challenging to answer, particularly towards the end. Remember in maths that there are opportunities to gain method and process marks, so it is always worth trying the questions. Even if you can't finish a question or you get the final answer wrong, you can still pick up marks. It is really important on these papers to show clear, careful working out. Unless it is a 1-mark question, don't just do it in your head. If it is a 4-mark question, it will probably involve 3 or more processes, so make sure you have clearly shown the different steps you need to have done to get to your answer. Remember, you get a formula sheet, so if you are stuck on a question, you can always look at this and see if there is anything helpful that you can use. Remember to copy down the formula correctly and show which values you are substituting into it. For this paper, you haven't had a revision list. That's because we want to recreate the circumstances that the real GCSE will be. If you are currently worrying about the exam, then do something proactive to take control of the situation. You can always watch the 1-minute Maths Watch clips for topics that you're unsure about. The On Maths website has small past papers that you can complete and use to help you practice. Lastly, remember this is a chance to show off all the maths you have learnt. If you have spent time revising and completing your past paper homeworks, you will be fine. As I said earlier, answer as much as possible. We can only give you marks for things you have written. Good luck.